Hi everybody, it's Susan from Sunrise Quilt Studio. Today I am quilting on another table topper. This one is made with the cups and saucers blocks that I made in the 2020 series, the Stash Buster series. So I really like this topper. It's made with shades of teal and white, and it has kind of a Southwest look to it. So I hope you'll stay with me and I'll show you how I'm going to quilt this topper. I think you can see the majority of my quilt here. This is a cups and saucers design quilt block, and here is a quilt block here. Now I feel like this has kind of a Southwest look with all the angles in it and the teal colors. I'm going to use a teal thread, and I'm going to go ahead and do the border first, and then I'll start working in the body of the quilt. Okay, I did a leaf design in the border of the quilt, which I thought I recorded, but evidently I didn't. So I don't have that on film, but I'm going to go ahead and do the teal colors in here, since I've got this teal ombre thread in. This is a 40 weight thread by Signature, and it is a polyester. Since this design kind of makes a Southwestern look, I'm just going to kind of go with that. With these, I think I'm just going to do some outline, because a lot of the Southwestern designs I've seen, a lot are just you know, these triangles. So I'm going to go ahead and outline them, and I think I'm going to outline these small ones, and then in here what I'm going to do is make another triangle inside that. So I need to get my small ruler and just pick a place to start. So I'm going to just start here. So this is kind of a new design for me. I'm just going to stitch in the ditch to the next triangle. Okay, yeah, kind of like that. So I'm going to follow from here to here and then make my triangle like that. So I'm going to go back up to this point, and I'm just using the piecing as my guidelines. So I've got this line going this way, so I'm going to go for this point to this point, and then just go straight up, and then straight up. And I think that looks pretty good. So let me berry threads, let me tie off. Okay, so there we go. I think that's pretty good. So I'm just going to do that with all of these. This is the saucer, this is the cup up here, I believe. Or maybe this is the cup and these are the saucers, I don't know. I'm not sure what this was supposed to be, how this design got its name. But anyway, I'm going to do the same thing in the whole, through the whole quilt. So I've got all of this done, and I need to do something with this. You know, this is a kind of a busy print. Not a whole lot is going to show up, so I think I will just do a square and a square type design here. So I need to mark the centers of the sides, and I'm just going from this point to this point to find the sides, and I'm going to go ahead and mark in the white background fabric because I can see that, and there I know where I'm at. And I'm going to go ahead and do that to the other block up here while I'm at it. Okay, I think that's all I'll do there. Okay, I'm going to finish up these blue sections in the quilt, and then I'll switch my thread over to a white thread, and then we'll work on the backgrounds. I'm starting with the center of the quilt. This is where all 4 blocks join together, and I drew in a design that's reminiscent of a picture that I saw in a Dover coloring book. This is a Southwest Indian design, and it's basically just kind of like stair steps that are going up along the side of the piecing there. So it's kind of a zigzag design. And I am using a cream colored thread. This is an Omni thread, and it is 100% polyester. So I'm just using my little ruler to help guide me along to keep my quilting straight, and I'm just going to go all the way around. Now these stair steps are about 1 inch apart, and there is a 1/2 inch of space between the 2 of them, so there are 2 sets of lines here. So I'm doing the outside first, and then I'll do the inside of the design. And in that very center is just a swirl, and I'll talk about that when we get there. But you notice I had to break the thread to go in there and then just anchor it and then just continue around. So I am in stitch regulated mode here. I'm not doing this in manual, and I prefer to do it that way whenever I'm using a ruler. That way I can pause when I get to those corners, and then don't have to worry about keeping up with the machine. This way the machine has to keep up with me, so that just works a little bit better when I'm using a ruler. And this is my mini scallop ruler by Handy Quilter. So it comes in real handy for little spaces like this. Okay, so I've got all of the straight line quilting done, and then I'm going to go into the center. Now that is a swirl, and I just hand drew that in with the water soluble pen, and I drew it in as it's going counterclockwise, but when I quilt I always quilt clockwise, so I'm going to ignore what I have drawn there and just do it the way I'm comfortable, which would be going clockwise. So you will see that here as I get started. And I'm just going to quilt over those thread tails, and I'm using my hopping foot as a guide for how far apart to make those swirls. Now this isn't a perfectly round circle. I can't do a perfect circle without using a template, but I think this works well with this quilt. Okay, I'm going to work on these flying geese units here, and I'm just going to do a continuous curve. I'm going to have to do some stitching in the ditch to get it all done. kind of a roundabout way to do that, but it's done. Okay, I'll do the same thing on the other side. And in the meantime, I've got to do these triangles here that are on the outside. Okay, so I have this triangle here. Now I had started drawing something in there and didn't like it, and I was using a water-soluble pen, so I sprayed it and it left some spots yet, but that's fine. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to go back to doing the same design I did here. So these stairs are about 1 inch, so I'm just lining my 1 inch mark here and here with the diagonal piecing there, and just going on up. Then we get here, I'm just going to draw this all the way across, and let's turn my ruler and do the same thing. 1 inch and 1 inch. Okay. So I've got to get my mark there. So let me turn. Here we go. 1 inch and 1 inch. I needed a 1/2 inch mark there to get started. And I'm going to go over 1 inch and up 1 inch. Over 1 inch and up 1 inch. Okay. And on this side, 1/2 inch, do the same thing. Okay, so there I've got that design. And time to quilt it in. Okay. Now the question is, do I need to put something in here? Okay, there we go. Now I just need to do that to all the sides, finish up the flying geese, and do the corners, and then I'll be done. For the corners of the quilt, I decided to do a petal design since I have leaves in the border. So I'm using a circle template to help me keep the curves consistent, and just doing a little 3 petal design here. So this goes really fast, and just using the same cream colored thread and just doing that to each corner of the quilt. So here I'll break off the thread and then move on to other parts of the quilt. Thanks for watching. For more quilting ideas, click on the video links. And to keep up with my latest projects, click on the subscribe button. I hope to see you again soon.